Mm.
I want to ask you, as a martial artist, as someone in a disciplined art, what is it that we can do better as a society to try to unite people as opposed to separating us?
Well, I think we all have our core values, and there's certain things that we don't bend on. Like I'm sure you have certain things. Johnny lives this way, and he's not going to change the way he lives. And I live the same way. I live my way. I have my beliefs. My beliefs don't change, and that's fine. But I think that we just have to, realize that we're, as far as our country and all, we're all here together, and we got to, you know, I believe in love your neighbor. You know.
So when we talk about, you mentioned the word country. So let's go there for a minute, right? When we talk about this country, is it not true that most of us want safe neighborhoods, nice schools, want some money in our pockets, to be able to take care of our families, and set the highest examples of morality, so that as we can teach our kids to try to have that type of life as well. Would you say that was one of the key things, or common things, or things Americans in this case have in common, is that we ideally want the same thing?
I think the majority of us do, but you know as well as I do, there's going to be factions of people who are split in on. I guess I'll have to use the words right and left. There's going to be people who are very far to the right and very far to the left, but I think the majority of us are
Somewhere in the middle.
a little bit closer than what you think.
No, what I think is that we are that much closer, right? Because that is the whole thing that I'm trying to message here. And when I say my Johnny Davis Live real talk, right, and real solutions, is that I think that we are closer and we have more in common than we don't. But it seems like when you look at the news and you look at sometimes what's going on in society, it seems like, oh my God, we are living in two different worlds. It's like we're living in two different countries. Why is that, do you think? What do you think are some of the rudimentary causes of this division that seems to be going on, and particularly when it gets close to an election, an election period?
I think, man, I think there's a lot of stress on everybody right now, as far as the direction that we're going as a people. Um, I think our ideas as far as what the country should be like are we're very divided in that area, but we're still unified as a people. But
Are
the
we, are we unified? Are we really unified as a people? Are we really, coming together for the right causes? When you say, what is your idea of unification as a people? I just want to get it. And listen, by the way, we don't argue on Johnny Davis Live. No need to argue. We talk. So
no, no.
I want to ask your idea of what you consider unified.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is we're all on this boat together,
Yes, we are.
and the direction of that is the one thing that we have in common. We're all here. Now, the direction that that boat takes is where we're having our conflicts.
It is true, but we've been in this country for a lot of years. All of us, some had to fight a little bit harder to get the freedoms that we enjoy today, and that's a fact. But it seems that we want the same, but we somehow perhaps see different direction, and it's okay to have different ideas about how to get there. But what I'm feeling, though, this seems like a very pivotal part. I mean,
I agree.
I am 62 years old, right? And I've seen election after election after election. I've seen things happen, all the way back. Obviously, I was born during the civil rights movement and stuff like that, but I was not, didn't know what was really going on, coming up through all of these other eras and things that happened. It seems to be something else going on right now in our society. And I'm just a little more concerned about, it seems like there's some type of reckoning that's starting to happen in our society, and it's on both sides. So, do you have any idea, first of all, how we might have gotten here?
Mm. Um, I think maybe over the years, maybe we did not put the right people in place to steer the ship, if
Hmm.
you will.
Okay.
And you have to remember at what point in your life you've been around on this rock a lot longer than I have.
Hmm.
Okay, maybe not a lot longer, but
Long enough, yes.
when in your life were we trillions of dollars in debt
Mhm.
as a country? And I'm not blaming a person or a party or anything like that, but I think we're in a place that we're in uncharted territory as a people, and I think that that contributes to the stress.
Let's ride on that one piece right there just for a moment. Let's just ride on that, right?
Right.
Economics. So, in a society that we live in, right, is it more about economics or civility? So, is it more about whether we have a ton of money, right, or whether we're in debt? As long as we are able to eat and buy food, and some people aren't, are not, and that's always been the case. That always probably will be the case. Or are we okay with people not being able to hardly walk the street, not being able to be who they are, not love who they want, and things like that, and not be discriminated against? So I'm trying to see if there's a balance here. Which one do we want? Right? We can probably have both, but it seems to be a little tilted in everybody talks about economics. Everybody's talking about people who are coming here, da 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 da. I mean, all of these things has to be fixed over time. But do we want a community where we can't walk out into our neighborhoods and say hello to our neighbors and have a conversation? Do we want a society or a city that we can't walk downtown and enjoy whatever we want to on the streets? I mean, what is the balance here? Is it all about economics? Is because I'm doing okay, I don't care about you? Or should there be a little bit more of a balance?
I think there's definitely a balance there, but I think you know as well as I do when you hit hard times and the stress is on you, it changes anybody's attitude. The nicest person around when it comes time to feed your family, you're going to make sure your kids get fed,
Well,
and it's
yeah, go ahead. Mhm.
yeah, and so I think kindness is important, but being able to provide is also important.
It is. It's very important. I think that listen. I'm going to be very honest. I mean, you alluded to earlier how great your school is doing. I've watched. I've been in your area before. I've driven by your club, and I tell you one thing: you need a bigger place. You need a bigger place. There's a lot of people there. It does not look. And martial arts is not a priority. In other words, you're going to pay your light bill, you're going to pay your water
Mhm.
bill, you're going to buy your food. Martial arts is somewhere down probably eighth, ninth, or tenth, right? So your club is packed, beyond packed, and you've had many conversations with me that Johnny is just really wow. I can't hardly keep up. I see that with so many clubs going on right now. I see that. So the economy can't be that bad if these people are affording these classes. So I'm trying to just get a balance of when I see comments on social media talking about how bad, and when we talk about making a country that I consider already pretty great, pretty good,
Mhm.
right? I do. Now, me in this country that I had to fight for everything to be even who I am today, that I think this country is indeed the greatest country in the world. But when I hear some people talking, it is like something so bad that we are just a gutter a country. And that is the part that I'm trying to get out here. I'm trying to figure out what am I missing? Because I love people. I love JT. I love your family. I love your people and everything. And so I'm just trying to figure out why do I see this world so beautiful and so many nice people doing great things, and others see it as it's the worst place in the world? Can you help me?
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with your success. Johnny's not trying to barely get by. Johnny's doing pretty good.
Mhm.
Um, Other
But you're
people,
also
but
successful.
but
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 you're
we
also
but we
successful, JT.
but I think where you may be um, where you may be making an error here is I agree with you that this is the best country in the world. There's a reason why so many people are jumping across the border to come here. It's a great place.
For sure.
Um, um, the
And that needs to be resolved, by the way.
it's not the country; it's the folks that are leading the country.
Okay.
That's where the problem is. You know, we can talk about the economy, but you know, gas prices are the same. They're still going up, and if you go to the grocery store, it's not getting any better.
A lot of factors there. A lot
So
of factors. Mhm.
yeah, so um, I think we can agree that it's a great place to live, but it's got its issues, and
How much of this do you think is about just fear? Um,
a lot
I
of
understand. I under a lot of it. Right? Yeah, it's about fear.